Good evening and welcome back. It's a beautiful Thursday night, and we're live as always downtown Atlanta in the Live Hip Hop Daily Studios. It's these urban times, and Live Hip Hop Daily presents Sideline Stories. Took a few weeks off handling some things, little vacay, little family things, but it's always great to be back at the desk. I'm Terrell Thomas, joined as always by my man Cregg Armstrong. Of course, Brandon will be joining the desk in another portion of today's show. We got a lot of things to talk about today, man. So we're gonna dive right into it. It's a new day in Houston, and the old saying, "Houston, we have a problem." I think you can throw that out the window at least until the preseason begins. The Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder embarked on a trade that is monumental for both franchises. The Oklahoma City Thunder sent perennial all-star point guard Russell Westbrook to the Houston Rockets, and the Houston Rockets sent veteran Chris Paul to OKC.
Put some respect on that man now. He's an all-star too.
He's an all-star, but right now he's a vet. We just gonna give him that. We're gonna give him that. Of course, James Harden and Russell Westbrook have a history. They played together at one time in Oklahoma City. Of course, our counterpart is now around and downstairs. What are your thoughts on Chris Paul being traded? Is he truly in the twilight of his career? And can Russell Westbrook and James Harden intertwine and actually win a championship down in H-Town?
Well, Chris Paul, he's in the twilight of his career, and it's partially because of his contract. You can't move that. He's going to be making $44 million at the age of like 36. And he's already an often injured point guard who has lost a step, as we can see.
Facts.
So it's like for Chris Paul, maybe if you were making $10 million less, maybe you could find your way to Philadelphia or LA, a team that is actually in contention for you. But right now, because of your contract, it's an albatross around your neck. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be rough for you. Only thing I can think of is if he somehow comes to a buyout situation, maybe.
But they saying they looking at just halting.
I mean, because you got to think about it.
Teams are asking for the picks that Oklahoma City has.
Right. You know what I mean? And it's like a situation with that is 40% of the league were free agents this offseason. And so they can't be traded until like December 15th. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of moves that just can't be made anyway, just because of salary-wise. You got to match salaries at this point. So with him, it's going to be impossible to trade him. I ain't going to say impossible. But if you're OKC, you probably going to have to take an L a little bit. Like,
yeah, it's going to have to be. They're going to come up off of one of them picks. That's right. What people are asking for.
And because the Heat, they want Chris Paul, but they don't want to give up too much to get him.
They wanted Russell Westbrook.
Right.
They want Bradley Beal. They'll take Chris Paul.
They'll take Chris Paul, just to be relevant. You know what I'm saying? Just to have somebody else who has been to an All-Star game on their team. But OKC has two picks for the Heat, from the Heat. So it's like,
yeah, we don't want to keep doing business with y'all.
Exactly. We're like, we need one of them back. Straight up. But that's Chris Paul. But Houston, you got better, kinda. You know what I mean? You got better. No, I say you got different.
A potential lineup, if they don't make any more trades, a potential starting lineup of Westbrook, Harden, Gordon, Tucker, and Capella in no particular order right there. It'll probably be Capella, Tucker, Gordon, Harden, and Westbrook, something like that.
Well, you didn't get better defensively, which I guess that's fine if you're going to outscore everybody. You did just get a more ball-dominant player than Chris Paul. Chris Paul could play off the ball for the simple fact that he can shoot. Russell Westbrook, if James Harden drives and kicks to Russell Westbrook, what are he going to do, drive and kick again? Because he can't shoot. He was one of the worst three-point shooters of volume scores in the NBA last year. So, I mean, hey, I guess you got a little bit better defensively just because you got a more able-bodied, more athletic point guard. But it's like, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, they both thrive off the same thing. They need the ball to be good. James Harden, yeah, he's played off the ball. They played off the ball, together in OKC, but this was a James Harden who was a sixth man coming off the bench, playing 20, 25 minutes a game. Russell Westbrook was running the show, but they still had Kevin Durant to be that buffer. You know what I mean? So when Russ was doing Russ things, you know what I'm saying, KD could come in and kind of ease it in. But and people even thought that James Harden was a better facilitator than Russ was back then. So now it's kind of like, okay, well, this is James Harden's team. It's not Russell Westbrook's team. So Russ, you will have to adjust the way you play to make this work with you. And
well, you know what, a way that I think would may be beneficial for Houston to look at, and Mike D'Antoni, regardless of his flaws on the defensive side of the ball as a coach, he is an offensive genius.
That he doesn't care.
It may be time where we see a reversal. Like, we don't see James Harden running the 2 and Russ running the 1. We see James Harden running the 1 and Russ running the 2. Because, I mean, we have seen that James Harden is a willing passer. He can get you 50 and still have 15 assists. So, in saying that, if now he is, and Russ is Russ. So there will be times where he's bringing the ball up, he handles the ball and such. But his natural position is the shooting guard. I think, we get lost in that. So
he was a 2 at
UCLA. He was a 2 in high school.
Yeah. So I think he does better that one. He would be a better 2 than a 1. But they've shown that they're willing and able passers, for the simple fact that they've led the league in assists, either or, in consecutive years. So it's like,
that's facts.
They can pass the rock. It's just a matter of James. Is he going to be able to be the same scorer without the ball in his hands for the majority of the time? Because you can't treat Russ like he treat Chris Paul. Like, you can't say, Chris Paul, go over there and stand in the court.
They'll have a better chemistry
I would hope so.
And a better relationship on the court. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the Rockets do. And we'll talk about them before we close the show out when we're joined by Brandon. But Summer League is over in the NBA. NBA Summer League is over, and there was a lot of hoopla, of course, after the 2019 NBA draft about a few of the rookies that were picked, most notably Zion Williamson, the likes of R.J. Barrett. We didn't get a large sample size from Zion during Summer League. Actually, it was only about 13 minutes.
Yeah, about a half.
If that. Yeah. He suffered a knee injury. Then there was an earthquake that went down in Vegas, so they had to they had to cancel the game and such. But Zion's performance, we saw the air ball, we saw the block shot. We did see an aggressive play where he took the rebound from New York Knicks big man Kevin Knox and then followed it up with a slam dunk.
That was it.
But he didn't look like the man-child, which I expected. The man-child that we saw in college in the Duke uniform, he didn't look like that man-child in the Pelicans uniform. Right. He looked rather small. He was bulky, of course, but he looked rather small. It's early, it's too early to put out any judgment. Like, I'm not going to be that guy that's like, oh, Zion had a horrible 13 minutes. He's going to have a horrible NBA career.
Oh, no, I'll never say that.
But what were your thoughts of what we saw of Zion, and what do you think we'll see from him, at least before the All-Star break?
I think he was real rusty. I will say that. I've never been one of the people that has been like, oh, I'm on Zion bandwagon, blah, blah, blah. I'm always the one like, well, tell me what he does well. Like, outside of jumping and dunking. Like, and I think that's what we saw. We saw that he's a piece of clay. And it's going to be up to him how he's molded. Because while he's really athletic and really strong, like he showed that just snatching the ball away from Buddy and dunking. He's really strong, but he also showed that he has a flawed jump shot, air balls, missing free throws. He looked kind of sluggish at times too, and I don't know if that's rust again or is that
faster paced game.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's a faster paced game. Like I said, you're not going up against Buddy who's going to end up being a lawyer. You're going up against Buddy who is trying to be in the NBA for 13 years. You know what I mean? So it's going to come a time where are you going to develop that jump shot? Are you going to be able to create your own offense? Are you going to have post moves? What are you going to do? Or are you going to be an energy guy, great on fast breaks? It's up to you how hard you want to work. And then, like I said, you're looking a little bit sluggish. And this is an NBA game where it's going to be fast. You can't rest on defense. You can't sit in the corner and rest. You're going to have to get in better shape. You probably going to have to lose by 25 pounds.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah.
Just for your career-wise at all. Because that's you 285. That's you 285 moving like that. There's a reason your shoe busts. You know what I mean? So your knees alone, you're gonna have to get off some of that weight because you look rusty. But Coach K already said he should have been out there anyway. So, hey.
It'll be interesting. I think with the team around Zion, the probably is going to surprise a few.
Zion is like the 7th option. Like
they're gonna surprise a few cats. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. He's got to lose some weight. He's got to lose some weight. He doesn't have to lose that bulkiness, but just some weight. You know,
you can still be strong. Look at LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Like LeBron when he went to the Heat, he looked heavier. You know what I mean? But I think that was because he was gonna be in the post a lot more. You know what I mean? He played a lot in the post in Miami. But when he got to when he went back to Cleveland, you saw him slim down. Mm-hmm. He looks even slimmer now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And so you can still be strong without having to be heavy.
Well said. Very well said. New changes are coming in the NBA. New changes are coming in the NBA where they'll get a chance to challenge some things. Now, it's funny. It won't be quite like the NFL. You can't challenge a call that wasn't made on the court. So say if we're thought there, say here in Atlanta, if the Hawks are playing the Lakers, since we just spoke on LeBron, and LeBron takes 5 steps on a slam dunk to win the game when the game is tied, and Coach Pierce is asking for a travel call, you can't challenge that. But if a foul's called, if it's a phantom out of bounds play, somebody else gets the ball, you can make a challenge. Do you think that'll have a strong impact in the game? And
well, they only get 1 a game.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta do some funny point at the ref and make a circle.
My thing was like, do they get a flag? Because I'm waiting to see Pop like hit a ref with a flag and be like, I was trying to get your attention. But no, I don't know how they got to do it, but I'm waiting to see it. I think it will have an effect in some games, especially like we saw in the playoffs, like James Harden not getting the 3-point play fouls that he thought he wanted. You know what I'm saying? Some that he deserved, some he was searching for. We saw that. Or, a charge call being called here or there that shouldn't have been called. These things decided games. These were close games. So I think you'll see a bigger effect like later in the season when the games mean more. Early in the season, probably not.
Yeah, I think they'll test it out though a lot during the preseason and early in the season too. Try to
in the G League.
G League they were trying it out.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm waiting to see it. I like to see it.
Yeah, that's gonna be funny. The All-Star break is coming going in the MLB and baseball. My Phillies, you got to get it together, gentlemen. Got to get it together. But you
regretting that 330 yet?
No, not yet. Not at all. As of right now, I mean,
we stuttering a lot. I don't know. You sure?
Because I was about to say Bryce just played big in our last 2 games and our last 2 wins against the Dodgers.
He did undress somebody in center field, like. And for those of you at home who don't know what I mean when I say undressed, he hit the ball so hard and almost knocked the clothes off. I'm like, I have never seen nobody get undressed.
So it started, and we were talking in today's pre-show as we were getting today's show lineup together. The Phillies, there's no excuses to be made because the season ain't over. That's what I've told you. Of course, the season isn't over, and unless one of our teams are marching at the end, there's gonna be plenty of trash talk regardless. But I do think that our best baseball is yet to be played. We still have some gaps out there that we have to get filled, of course. But our injuries have played a part, and I also think it's time for us to just call a spade and look at our manager and
yo, I'm not gonna lie to you, he makes some questionable decisions.
He's been making some questionable decisions in his tenure so far over there, and Philly fans, we rowdy, but it's them old Philly fans. They asked the rowdy
fans who were throwing snowballs at Santa. Y'all was ridiculous.
So I'm surprised that they're not calling for the man's job. Never want to see anyone lose their job for sure. But
once I seen them boo,
you out there to get it done. I mean, it's like
I was like, oh y'all.
We love you, then we hate you, then we love you again. You know what I'm saying? He got a long 13 years there.
Y'all like a Gemini girlfriend. Y'all don't know what y'all want.
He'll get a statue. Oh, we know what we want. We want greatness, and when we don't get it, we'll let you know, and then we'll appreciate you and celebrate you, for taking that scrutiny. What are your thoughts? Your Braves are doing great right now. Dodgers doing great, of course. What are your thoughts on what's going on in the MLB ways?
The MLB is exciting this year. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'm loving seeing it. Brandon is
we're not looking at him. We don't care about
a lot.
Aaron Boone or the
You know what I'm
Yankees.
saying?
We're not looking
Well, we got to throw the Yankees in there because
y'all
as
are
an avid
okay.
baseball fan, I have to admit the Yankees are doing something where they're like, oh, we're good, yeah, but we're going to get another player because we want to still be good. You know, they were in the race for Kimbrel. They were in the race for Keuchel.
It's about championships. It's about championships.
We got all the money.
Encarnacion.
Gotta win it, though. Y'all got some money.
Win.
Gotta win it.
You still need pitching. That's
why we're going to get some pitching. I seen the other day, the other day, Brian Cashman said we I look for pitchers. So
yeah, I mean, you still need pitching. You got the depth to do it, but, we'll see because, New York lately, y'all been like, man, kind of.
Is anyone surprised? Are there any teams that are standing out surprisingly so far? Because those are heavyweights. We know the Yankees. We know the Red Sox. We know
the Brewers. I've been a little surprised.
No, I would say the Twins.
Oh, the Twins too. The Twins have been balling.
I would never expect them to hit the way they're hitting right now. I think it was maybe like 20-something games straight they hit a home run. And
are these balls juiced? We saying it's
definitely.
It was 2006 or 2016, I believe, where it was over about 6,600 home runs hit or something like that. They're gonna kill that. Yeah, they'll obliterate it.
They'll obliterate this month.
Like you're seeing games 19-7. Like these are football scores. You know what I'm saying? So the balls are definitely juiced. I will say that. Like I agree with you, Verlander. Totally. But
the commission came out and said, "I don't know the G."
He said, "Hey, they all hit more home runs, but I don't know." Hey. But I think that even still, there are some teams that I like. The Rays are actually playing well. They're not winning their division, but they're actually playing well, even though they want to play in Montreal for half the season. That's a whole nother subject we'll get on. The Red Sox, what in the hell are they doing? Right?
And I'm loving every bit of them losing. I'm preaching all this.
I'm sure you are. The Braves, of course, I love what we're doing. I love the fact that we did go out and sign Dallas Keuchel, showing that we actually do want to try to win.
Big series this weekend. Big series.
Absolutely.
4 days.
We got Washington coming in town. We need that. It's a 4-game series. We need to at least split that. Because Washington is on our ass. Washington been playing amazing baseball.
Yeah, they turning up.
Yeah, like without
Stop
Bryce.
Winning.
Hey man, they got that cancer out the locker room.
Stop
man.
winning.
They get money.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say that.
Y'all gave the ball that money. Y'all still out there losing.
The Phillies. When your 3, 4, 5 hitters are averaging like 250 a pop, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Like Bryce, y'all paying for that MVP season. And he didn't even play for y'all. Y'all playing for past production. He didn't even do for y'all. So it's like
it's coming. It's only a few months in. It's coming.
What you mean it's coming?
It's coming.
He is what he is.
He only had 1 year where he hit over 300.
He is what he is, Terrell.
You
seen him.
Listen, his strikeout rate has increased every year since that year.
And he's striking out even more this year.
Get your red hats ready. Get your red hats ready for the parade.
I got a red Braves hat. I'm good money. I'm straight.
My team is blue. My team is blue and pinstripes, so I can't wear red. Sorry.
But nah, I mean, the Braves love what they're doing. Like I said, Washington is playing incredible right now. We need to go ahead and take care of business this weekend. Phillies, I don't know what the hell y'all doing. Y'all need more pitching and more bullpen. We also need to go ahead and go get a closer. The trade deadline's coming up, so I know a lot of teams are going to be looking at Madison Bumgarner and Shane Green and Will Smith out of San Francisco. But it's going to be a race. Who's going to have the nuts to go out there and give up a prospect for that pitcher? Is that if you think that's your missing piece?
Very well said, man. But before we wrap up this segment, SEC Media Day, it'll be coming here to Atlanta soon. Start me briefly about what were your thoughts on SEC Media Day, and it's early as we mentioned, about 6 weeks before the start of college football season will begin, so it's a lot of unknowns, of course. But just what are some of your preseason thoughts on the SEC? We'll go in depth and talk a little bit more college football when Brandon joins us at the desk later in the show. For
sure. SEC Media Day, of course, me being an Alabama fan, loved it. It was in Alabama. I think Tua came out and said what I've been saying the whole offseason. We got our ass kicked against Clemson, and I think we needed that because down the stretch of the season after we beat LSU, I think we kind of settled into complacency. And I think a lot of people were looking at the jobs they were going to get later. And so I think with us losing that game, it made us go back to the drawing board, and pay attention to the details a little bit more as an Alabama fan. LSU, they already running their mouth, talking about they better than us. So, I mean, hey, we'll see. They ain't beat us since 2009, I don't know, 2011, excuse me. But the SEC as a whole, I think it's going to be tougher this year than it was last year because you have a lot of unknowns. Like you have
Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri getting Kelly Bryant, but they can't even go to a bowl game. So, hey,
Florida.
Yeah, Florida beat Michigan. Last 4 weeks of the season, Florida looked unbeatable. They averaged 30-something points a game. Kentucky, we're gonna see if that depth that they say they developed is real because you just lost every person we know by name from Kentucky.
You're running back in your line and your
exactly.
DN.
You lost your best defensive player and offensive player, so we're gonna see your whole secondary damn near is gone. So we're gonna see what you do, Vandy. Good job in baseball.
No one's checking for Vanderbilt in football.
Good job in baseball. The Gus bus might be coming to an end. You know what I'm saying? We gotta see what Jimbo's gonna do in his second year at Texas A&M, but they got to play Clemson, Bama, UGA, and LSU this year. So
yeah, we definitely owe them this year. We definitely
owe them. What you gonna do? Ole Miss. 2 words.
Big. You tell them to be quiet.
2 words for Ole Miss. Rich Rod. That's their new offensive coordinator. Rich Rod. You got Mike McIntyre coming in. Both former head coaches coming in to be your offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. We're gonna see what y'all do. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be real exciting in the SEC this year.
I mean, we know.
Y'all stink.
Roll Tide.
Is
Go
this
Tigers.
a bounce back? Is it a bounce back season or is it?
I feel bad for Duke. We gotta play them first game of the year.
It's here too, right?
Can you tell your coach to stop scheduling these pool games at the start of the season too?
What you mean?
Y'all ain't playing nobody good to start the season.
We play USC. We play Louisville last year. It's not our fault. Lamar Jackson wanted to go to the NFL. He should have.
We'll take him.
Exactly. You wanted that.
Yeah, Duke a little BS. But they thought Daniel Jones was gonna be there.
No, I think we did that as a favor to Cutcliffe.
If Daniel Jones was still there, he's probably gonna die.
Listen, bro. Daniel Jones thought it was an adjustment going to the Giants. Ooh,
that boy gonna die that Saturday.
He that's why he left.
Yeah, he saw Bama on the schedule. I'm gonna enroll early.
Go to the NFL.
Yeah, I'm out.
Instead.
Peace.
But we'll see. We'll talk about it later.
We'll see. Maybe we know the scope gonna be. It's gonna be a smackdown.
Saban don't like scoring more than 50 against people.
Just
out of respect.
We shall see. We got a lot more to talk about here on Sideline Stories. LiveHipHopDaily and These Urban Times present Sideline Stories. We'll be joined at the desk. Mr. Brandon will be here. We're going to talk a few things in the world of sports. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Y'all